All right, guys, we're coming in with a situation. I'm looking for guidance from you, from Tim, from Paul, and everybody in the audience here. I had a situation on my game table the other day. I briefed these guys on it briefly, which I guess that's why you call it briefing, because it was a briefly. And then we started talking about it. I say, hey, do we want to do a video on this or not? If so, let's record this shit. All right, so here we are. Here is the situation as I laid it out. Okay. Playing my 5e hack. Okay. All right, here. Imagine an aqueduct, right? And Earth had shifted. In the aqueduct, there's a tunnel up here and a tunnel below, and they're apart, separated by 20 feet. There is 5 feet deep water pool that goes 20 feet across between them. PCs are down here. PCs want to get up here. PCs heard that there was a troll up here. PCs still need to get up there and kill the troll. PCs do a grappling hook throw. Miss. Got it the second time. Okay, that means that since they didn't keep throwing and making noise, the troll was not surprised. Okay, troll is not that the troll can't surprise them rather. So that's good. All right. So the guy, he crosses the 5 feet of water, pulls his ass up. The fighter on the rope gets up to the lip. Okay. Within a few feet of exploration, pulls up the lamp, sees the troll coming at him. Roll initiative. Not a surprise because, like I said, it only took 2 throws to get there. Troll commences to whoop his ass. All right. Now, this is a troll I made up called a swamp troll. All right. It's just smarter than the average troll. It's a little bit smaller, a little scrawnier, more stalky attack kind of stuff rather than brute force kind of thing. Right. It gets similar to a scrag in the second edition days. Remember those things, guys? Scrags, I think they were called. Right.
Yeah.
So, I think it was a second edition troll, a water troll or a bridge troll, whatever the fuck troll.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so remember, keeping the distance here. It's 30 feet up and down, 20 feet across, 5 feet of water. And there's a rope. Fighter is getting his ass kicked. 3 attacks by the troll, blah, blah, blah. He's going down. He's like, oh, shit, I got to get the hell out of Dodge here, right? I have no long distance healing in my game, so he needs to go to the healer. The healer has to come to him. In the meantime, we're separated by all this water and the climbing of the rope. Fighter says, fuck this shit. I'm out. He starts going down the rope. I said, okay, troll gets an attack of opportunity. Now, troll's looking down at fighter. Troll is on ledge, looking down at fighter. Fighter's descending a rope, going down into 30 feet down into a 5-foot pool of water. Troll, a little smarter than the average troll, says, whoosh, and goes for the rope. All right? Knock the rope off the wall. It's a 6-inch gap between the rope and the guy's hands. Instead of going for the guy's head, he hits the rope. Guy falls into water. 3d6 damage divided by half because of 5 or 6 feet of water. Post game next day. All right, this is Pete's character. My brother, like, wait, man, couldn't even do that. Attack opportunities on the guy, not on the rope. You can't do that. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? No old school guy worth his salt would ever come up with that argument. Well, the rules say blah blah blah. And like, so my attack of opportunity rule, which I didn't even read because I just call it an attack of opportunity. And I kind of know what it is. Looking back on it, if either you or an enemy move into or out of your range during melee, meaning it could apply to monsters or they could do it to you, you could do it to them. Okay. Whoever is next to it, meaning the person moving away, whoever is next to it gets a free shot at it. All right. Free shot at it. So instead of my shot at the guy's face, he shot at the rope, does more damage, falls, might kill him, and he gets dinner tonight. Bitching and complaining about that. And I said, well, you know what? I'm going to change the fucking rule. Thank you for the input, you rules lawyer motherfuckers. I'm going to change the rule now, and it's going to say, or you can attack the means of egress. Like if the guy was going to be flying away in a flying carpet, you could attack the carpet, something like that. Whatever the means of egress, you could have tripped him, you could have overborne him, wrestled him to the ground, whatever the hell it would have been. But it's an attack on the rope, right? It's kind of the same fucking thing. If you trip him, you're fucking him up on his escape. If you hit his carpet, if he's flying away, you fuck up the escape. Hit the rope, you fuck up the escape, right? Whatever it is, you're messing it up. What do you guys think? That being said, I think I knew what Tim was going to say because I know how Tim DMs, and I don't know how you DM, Paul. You never DM me, so shoot. Was I a dick or not? That's the question. Is Joe a dick or not? Joe generally is a dick.
Well, one does not make the other one false.
Yeah.
So, correct. Both things can be true at the same time.
Yes, all right.
So for me, it's I tend to run a looser game than that, I would think, because I would try to put myself in the position of the PC that's trying to do this. Yep. And I'd say, okay, if I know what the rule is, I'm going to figure out if the rule can help do that, or am I just doing raw? Am I just doing rules as written? You cannot do that. So I think that's just personal preferences. Am I trying to help the character do what they want to do, and is the rule just going to cancel it out? Am I breaking the rule, or am I bending the rule?
Or slightly interpreting it differently, right? You know what I mean? Are you interpreting the vibe of the rule, the intent of the rule, right?
Right. The rule of cool, right? Would it be cooler if I ignore the rule so they can do what they want to do?
Well, not for the PCs in this case. It's cool for the troll.
It's cool for the troll, right? So so I'm thinking about those kinds of options.
So what would you think? What was it? Did I do a dick move, or was it fair under the rules, or was it fair under the spirit of the rules and vibe?
I think your style determines. I would not say that you did. If your thing is say, hey, that's how it's played, then that's how it's played. I don't think there's a right or wrong issue. I think that's just how you play your game, and everybody else can just live with it. It's your table. It's the DM's table. So if the DM's running it, then the DM has to be able to say, that's how I run it. And everybody has to go, okay, that's the rule. As long as it's consistent across the board, then okay. If we're picking and choosing, that's a different ball game. But if you're running it, and so I can't say it's a wrong move because that's how you run your table.
All right, Tim, what do you think?
Well, because the system I run, is very rules light, and we kind of discussed about, rules heavy and rules light. The problem with rules heavy stuff is if you get into the rules lawyer, then you have to have, this is the rules subsector 3, section 4. Then you have to start accounting for every fucking situation that you have to
every exception
come up
to every
with.
rule.
Where if you have a simple rule thing, then you can just make the rulings, it's like, because what you did is exactly what I would do, where, like I said, my variation he would have pulled up the rope and tried to bring, because he's hungry. So he's going to try to eat them, and he wants some whole. He likes his food. He likes his food. Yeah. He likes his food a little bit.
Grind it up.
Bring him in. Just grind it up or something like that. But the one suggestion you maybe randomly determine your troll's preference of how they like to eat. I don't know. Put that in one of your rules too. But then I kind of suggested, instead of just saying an attack of opportunity, use the verbiage of action of opportunity. And your reply was,
that's hard, because that was my brother's defense. Once you open it up to a free action, a free actual action, because in 5th edition, which is what my hack is based off of, there's actions within an action. You could do certain things in it. Now, I took away free actions, I took away reactions. All right, I just have actions. There's an action economy that consists of 2 things: an attack and a movement. He swung, that was his attack. The other side of it was his movement, right? And traditionally, attack of opportunity was either a reaction or a free action under 5e. Okay, in all the old school games, it was just you get one fucking hit if a guy's running away. That's the way I kind of, no matter what I wrote in the book, this is how I've always done it. Some guy runs away, you get to fucking hit him. Okay, and so that's all it is. It's not falling under an action, free action, or bonus action or anything like that. It's just a thing that stands on its own, separate from any mechanic. But
then your system doesn't work then if it can't cover that.
Well, what do you mean?
Because what you've set down as your rules, none of your rules covers this now.
Well, the only rule that covers it is literally the rule that says attack of opportunity. It's 2 lines. And it says if somebody's moving out of your range, whoever's next to you gets a free shot at you. Right?
But then that's a melee attack of opportunity.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Because I mean, really, if you think about it, your defense was, what if they cast a spell? Well, they're not supposed to be able to swing again either.
That's it. Exactly.
So why would they be able to cast a spell then too?
Once you open,
there are melee spells, right, that you can cast that are not just. I mean, you do shocking grasp. You can do. There's other things you can do within a melee with it, right? But I'm just saying, as far as
casting a spell, you get but the way I've always looked at this, it's not because if you open it up, you get an action, right? Under 5e terminology, you can cast a spell. You can, you know what I mean? You could do a lot with an action, right?
You certainly can,
it fucking opens up a goddamn can of worms. All I want to do is you get a free shot, as I worded it, a free shot, which in my head is like a swing, a punch, a kick, a trip, whatever, something like that. The guy's trying to get away, and you're trying to hit him as he tries to get away, or stop him from getting away, right? And so my solution to this was like, all right, well, I'm going to reword the rules. Thank you for your rules lawyering and pain in my ass. All I'm going to do is say you get to attack the guy, melee attack against the guy or against the means of egress. Like if he's trying to fly away in a flying carpet, I can hit the carpet, stuff like that, right?
But even if I get to choose my melee attack, whether it's a punch or a sword or a dagger, then why can't I cast a spell? If I'm going to play devil's advocate, I'm at your table. Why can't I cast a spell then? If it's part of my melee action and it is a melee spell to do that.
Because a spell takes a full round to cast, right? And a sword swing doesn't. Like it's always been assumed in D&D that if
doesn't it?
Well,
you only get to swing once anyhow.
Remember in the AD&D days, and guys always said, why does the combat take a fucking minute to swing one sword? He goes, no, you're not swinging it once in a minute. You're moving in, you're getting out, you're dinging, you're dodging, you're doing all this shit, right? And then it's the one in the minute that actually hit. I could swing the sword over there or the lightsaber over there more than one time in 6 seconds that you get in 5e, right? And so
but in this case, they're not dodging or doing any of that stuff anyways. They're just swinging.
They're just swinging once, which takes a second. A spell takes 6 seconds. A swing takes one.
I was going to say it's instant, and shocking grasp is instantaneous. It's one action, but it's instantaneous.
Right. But you got to cast it, and the casting time is 6 seconds. Whereas a swing is a second, right? So you're swinging. You're taking one swing at an undefended guy, and he's trying to run away, or you're hitting the rope, or you're hitting the carpet, right? You're not dodging and weaving and trying to make that perfect boom, and that one out of 5 different attempts is the one that hit, right? You're hitting them one time. And this goes, like I said, back to the AD&D. Why does combat take a minute? How come a caster can cast one spell? I can only swing a sword one. I can swing a sword way more than one time in a minute. And Gygax's answer was, you're trying to get in there. That's the only one that was good, right? And so this guy's not defending. The only one that's good is the one swing on him. And so he chose the rope rather than the head. Right?
No, I mean, I think what you did was perfectly fine, but I think I would interpret it even broader than that. I mean, it's tough because I'm not a big person of attack of opportunity because I figure, how you said that's all the swinging and dodging and doing that stuff. I figure if you're disengaging with that instead of doing the attack, all that 6 seconds or 1 minute is on the retreat. So therefore, to reduce that person's attack of opportunity.
But you see, disengage is a different thing, Tim. That is right after attack of opportunity. Disengage is where the fighter didn't choose to swing that entire round. Disengage is where you sacrifice your attack and use your entire combat movement. In other words, attack and movement. You're not
so attacking. He attacked and then tried to move then?
Yes, he attacked and moved.
Gotcha.
He didn't choose to disengage. If he chose to disengage, you do not trigger an attack of opportunity.
Okay,
in other words,
that makes sense.
I'm not swinging, I'm moving, I'm dodging, I'm down.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's it. He didn't choose.
No, that makes sense. Then
he chose. So that was the difference. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't trust me, Joe. I mean, I can completely agree with what you're saying. I just think I've just never been a fan of attack of opportunity because I think it's such a narrow scope. Because I know in one of my 5e games, I want to say that came up. This is when we were playing cantrips, though, too. And I believe the GM allowed them to use a cantrip, but not like a leveled spell.
Okay. Yeah, because some cantrips you can do as a free action. There are some cantrips that I think they are free action, which I've eliminated from the game. And I've also eliminated all those basic cantrips that they had in 5e.
Yeah, I remember
made up a couple of my own cantrips. You know what I mean?
What's that one that everybody has as a warlock? Is it like Firebolt or something like that?
Yeah, Eldritch Blast or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I think that's what the ruling was. He was because he wasn't really a melee guy. He wanted to he used his spell, and so he hit him with that. And it was funny because every time I thought of attack of opportunity, I always thought of just swords, daggers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, why wouldn't you be able to do that? That makes sense and everything. And to me, if I was a GM and I had the attack of opportunity, heck, if you wanted to, the only thing I probably would kind of limit it on in some ways, and I don't even know, because then you open yourself up to all these other things. But like if you wanted to, because one of the things I thought of too is what if you had a potion of slipperiness? I'd pour it down the rope.
Well, that's
and watch it go down the rope.
I mean, here's that's the equivalent. My brother. So see, we're at a bar, of course. We're talking about this on Tuesday. We're yakking and you get a few in. And this is where they get the best D&D debates, right at a bar, right? And so that's why we go. We talk D&D and whatever, And so we're talking and we're texting Pete. Pete was the player who did this all, and so we're talking. Pete's texting around this, two-way, three-way conversation here, and my brother's like, "Well, what if there was a lever next to the troll that he could have pulled that would trigger a trap door while Pete was running away?" I said, "Well, then yeah, because he's attacking the means of movement. He's attacking his movement." And he goes, "That action has nothing to do with Pete or his action. You're just giving a troll a free opportunity to do whatever the fuck he wants. All I'm saying is you open up way too many advantages for whoever gets the attack of opportunity. The reason the rule is written as it is to limit the actions and not let it get out of scope." I said, "It's not a free action. It's just an attack on his movement." He goes, "That's not an attack on the movement. What if the lever did something else other than create a trap door in Pete's way? What if the lever was to cast a fireball in a different room? It's the exact same action, except it's doing something that's nothing to do with Pete's movement. The rules are written in that way to prevent it from overstepping the scope of what the spirit of the rule was trying to accomplish." I said, "If he flew away in a flying carpet, the troll could have attacked the carpet." He goes, "Think about that. The same exact movement to pull a lever to trigger a trap door can be used to pull a lever to cast a fireball in a different area. It's the same exact movement. It takes the same exact amount of time, except one of them is done to impede the movement and the other is done to cast a fireball in a different room. Same action, different outcome, as you're allowing too much action by allowing him to attack the rope. The rule is written that way to prevent people from running away from a combat without consequences. Your interpretation opens up way too much." And then I said, it basically, they had to go back and forth, and that's the gist of it, though. You know what I mean? I said, then I came up with back and forth. I'm just going to rewrite the rule to say that you'd attack his means of movement. So that's how I'm going to resolve it internally in my game. But those were the counter arguments, because I know if he listens to this video on Thursday, whatever the fuck we drop it, he goes, "You didn't say anything that I said." So there's your counter arguments. All right.
Right.
So
no, I think I agree. I think that's a good compromise with what you came up with, Joe. With the ego, because I mean, if you start thinking potion, then it just opens up way too many things. Then it's just sort of like too.
I would like to build a fire.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
What can you do with
a campfire right here?
Yeah. What can you do with an action in a round? A whole lot, right? 6 seconds.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of different things you could do, but it's almost more of an action of opportunity. It's more like a reaction of opportunity, or whatever you want to call it.
And I think an attack of opportunity in 5e might have been called under the reaction. You might have needed to have a reaction, or you might. It makes sense.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I don't think it was a bonus action. I think it was a reaction. The book's over there, and I have to get up. I'm in my underwear.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that.
I don't remember what it was. I mean, I played it, like I said, I was in so many different, I think it was in 3 or 4 different 5e campaigns. And I'm trying to remember. I only remember that really coming up a couple times. I mean, 5e characters aren't going to retreat 9 times out of 10 anyways, because you're not really.
There's no morale rule.
Well, and there's no real danger a lot of times.
Yeah.
It's just you're waiting for your boost to come in or whatever. What was that second win? That one.
Yeah. Let's see. I just hit ChatGPT because I don't want to get up and show you guys my fucking underwear. In the 2014 version of PHP, an opportunity attack, blah blah blah, used your reaction. So there it is. So that
you need a reaction.
So if you had already used your reaction that round, you wouldn't be able to do it.
And you don't even have that in your game, so it's not even an issue.
I just said if a guy runs away and you're near him, you get a shot at him. A shot means in my head swing, not a spell.
Right. No, I mean I agree with that. I think that and it's I like tactics that don't do ordinary stuff. They oh, you think you're coming from your head? Nope. And then you see your rope starting to fray. You're like, oh shit. You missed me. Ha ha. No. Oh shit.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think what you said, Paul, it's rulings versus rules. What you said before, right? It's like the difference in old school rulings versus rules. And I'm trying to keep an old school vibe in my 5e hack is why I'm playtesting this thing. I'm trying to keep the best chassis of 5e that I can. Even though I rewrote all the classes, took away feats, took away bonus actions and reactions, I incorporated feats into the classes themselves, and I changed the skill system. Believe it or not, there's still the 5e chassis in there. Believe it or not, it exists somewhere. It's in there. It exists pretty firmly. So it's basically rules versus rulings versus rules.
What is that example about the boat That if I replace every single board,
Right. I
boat,
forgot what that boat's called.
is
Yeah,
it
is it
still
still the
is
same
it
boat?
still the boat? Is
The
the
boat,
question.
the vintage boat. Yeah.
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 Well, it's
Yeah.
just instead of 5E, it's just Joe E, you know.
That's hence the title. Joe's
Yeah.
old school 5e hack.
You know,
That's literally what it is. Yeah. So, Paul, would you do it?
Would I do it?
Yeah. When you answered like a politician before, would you do that thing in your game? Would that be an okay thing in your game to do?
If I'm playing, let's put this way, if I'm playing your rules, if I have your rule set and that's the rule set I'm using,
Mhm.
then I'm probably likely to go and say, okay, that's the rule I'm going to go with, because I feel like the more specific the rule, obviously the less room I have to mess with it.
Yeah.
So if the rule is the rule, then I'm likely to lean in to say, nope, it's got to be a physical attack. It can't be a spell. It can't be whatever you're doing here. You've got to choose a weapon or whatever and strike.
Well, that's how it's going to read going forward. But the way it reads it currently, would you be able to do that? Would you allow him to do it? Gets a free shot at that guy.
If you say you get a free shot at that guy, that's open to interpretation.
And I interpreted it old school way.
I interpreted it says, look, you get a shot. Well, what's your shot? That's the players. You put it into the hands of the player then to determine what a shot.
Or the monster. Or the DM for the monster.
Or whoever. That's right. So if you're going to give me room, I will tend to lean towards rulings versus rules. If the rule is specific, I will then probably play according to the rules.
Okay.
I would too. Yeah. I mean, it depends, if the system like yours or like has defined rules, then I'll just go with that, of course. I mean, that's the rules of the game. I got no problem with that. I mean, it's different from how I'd run it, but that's okay. That's perfectly fine. That's why I go to different games, because I want to try these different things, and it's not going to be a game, it's not going to ruin the game if you do it this way. It's not going to, or that way. You just roll with it, have fun, and hope. What I got to hope for is maybe the troll roll a 1 and fall over the edge of the aqueduct.
Boom! There you go. Yeah.
Because now, while you guys hear it as an attack of opportunity, I hear it as an attack for an opportunity to roll another 1.
That is also correct. But do you do you have that? Is this a piece of advice that you're putting in the DM advice column at the beginning of your book about rules and rulings? Are you saying, if you're running this game, it's intended to be played this way?
Yeah. Here are the rules, but you have latitude. I'm going to put all that. The DM guide is was a work in progress. Obviously, I got maybe a third or a quarter of it done, if that, right? Because every time I think about it more, I go, I had something on this, I got something on that. It's like, who the fuck knows? I got 50,000 words already, and every time I think, well, that's a good chunk. No, it ain't. So, all right. So, I think basically what you're saying is that I'm not a dick. So I appreciate that. At least
I don't think either one
not
of us
in this circumstance.
I don't think your rule was, but that's like a open-ended. There's a lot of interpretations on that too, Joe. So
yeah, well, interpretations vary. But I think we got 23 minutes of a video out of this one little situation. So when I told my brother we'd do it. So there we go.
And of course, we want to hear from the people watching this video, because they may disagree or agree. And of course, we want their comments down below as well. We don't want to tell you how to run your table. We're talking about a rule set. We're talking about a rule set. We're talking about specific rules. You may do it very, very differently, and we'd love your opinions down in the comments.
Absolutely, and definitely chime in. In this situation, was I a dick? Under the rule as written in my book. That's what I want to hear in the comment. Preface it. Yes, Joe is a dick. No, Joe is not a dick. And then get into your comments. I want to see a lot of Joe and Dick in the same comment over and over again, especially in Tim's and Paul's. Joe and Dick. All right. So
I don't want to hear it. A lot of it.
All right. The algorithm is is to change. I'm just
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You're going to be very concerned about what's in your algorithm the next time this goes on.
All right. Later, guys. Thank you. Like and subscribe to everybody's channel here, especially the Dick. All right. So appreciate it.
There it is.
Take care, everyone.